I left my husband, a man who loved me true and true. People say it must be my village people that I was possessed or cursed. Hello, you're welcome to Life Stories with Bussy, where true life speaks and healing begins. I woke up last week Monday and I realized that our video had gone far because when I opened Instagram, I saw like 100,000 views on the clip that I put on Instagram, and I was like, what? As of today, that clip has gone to do 500,000 plus views. On TikTok, it has done like over 200,000 views. And on YouTube, we have like over 500 new subscribers. I think it's only Facebook that is lagging, but I just want to say thank you because this is huge. For me, I mean, for someone who has been stuck in a particular number for a long time, this is really huge. I just want to say thank you to everyone who sent out the link of that video to their friends and their loved ones. To all my day one, I really appreciate you guys. I really do appreciate you guys. I'm going to start naming names very soon because I have some people who are regulars. They are always there. Come rain, come sun, whatever. They are always there every Sunday to watch Life Stories with Bussy. If you're a new subscriber, you're welcome to Life Stories with Bussy. So I saw that some people were confused because they thought it was my story from the clips that I put out on other social media platforms. They thought it was my story, and then when it came, they were like, oh, she's reading. Yes, I'm reading because the story was not my story. So this is Life Stories with Bussy, and this is a safe space for people. People share the story for different reasons. Some share it because they are looking for a way out of whatever issues that they are going through. Some just want people to talk to. Some people want counsel for their next move, and some people are just sharing their experience. One of the things we also do is to try to keep the identity of the person who has written to us if they don't want to reveal their identity, but we respect however you want us to tell the story. We also take permission from people before we share their WhatsApp and all that. So if you're looking for someone to vent to, a shoulder to cry on, come in. I have a very big shoulder. So the joy of this is that when you tell your story, I take a look at it and I tell you what I think. My community members also tell you what they think. And the nice thing about it is that everybody take a look at the story from different angles, from different perspectives. And based on what they've gone through or the things that they have seen or the experience that they've been through, people drop their own comments. And from there, people make informed decisions. And I've seen a lot of people who have given testimonies about how this channel has helped them. So once again, you're welcome to Life Stories with Bussy. Today, I have another story. Today's story is riding on last week's story. Like every controversial story that was told in the past, you will have people in the comment section or people who will write you and tell you that, based on the story that you told last week, I have something to say. And so today's story is based on last week's story, and this story is told by a lady, and she's saying that somehow, some way, she understands the reason why Kevin did what he did. That's Kevin of last week, and I'm like, what? But when I took a look at her story, I understood where she was coming from, and I decided that, okay, you know what, let's share it and let's take a look at it. So come along with me and let us go into this story. So hello Bussy, my name is Ada. I stumbled on your page this week and watched the video about the man who faked his death to escape his marriage. I want to play devil's advocate, not because I support what he did, but because I understand something about working away from someone who loves you deeply. I left my husband, a man who loved me true and true. People said it must be my village people that I was possessed or cursed. But the truth is, sometimes many of us shouldn't have gotten married when we did. Because of societal pressure, too many of us end up in loveless marriages. So I just want to ask one simple question. Married women, please answer me honestly. Is it all of you who really love the men that you're married to? I'm not talking about those in toxic or abusive relationships. I mean women whose husbands are good men, kind, responsible, prayerful, but something inside you just doesn't connect. You respect him, you care for him, But if we're being honest, you don't feel love the way you're supposed to. Let me tell you my story. My story didn't start with a man, it started with a mirror. From as far back as I can remember, I never liked what I saw when I looked into a mirror. My mother was stunning, the kind of woman whose beauty made people pause mid sentence. Light skin, long neck, perfect smile. When she walked into a room, people said, "See beauty." When I walked in, they said, "She looks like her father." That was the polite way of saying I wasn't beautiful because my father wasn't the most handsome man. If women chose husband based on looks, I wouldn't have chosen my father either. I was a big child, round cheeks, full arms, thick legs. My younger sister was slim, graceful, a true replica of my mother. At family events, aunties would tease me. "You this big girl, you better learn to cook very well so that what you lack in beauty, you would have in the kitchen." I would laugh with them because when you grow up being mocked, laughter becomes your first defense. In school, boys rarely noticed me unless it was to make jokes about my size. So I learned to hide behind humor, to be the funny one, the smart one, the helper. But every night before I slept, I prayed for just one person who would look at me and say, "You're beautiful just the way you are." But then came Dapo. Dapo was the first man who ever looked at me like I was enough. He saw me at a friend's birthday and he said he likes my confidence. I almost laughed because what he called confidence was really just survival, but I let him believe it. For the first time, someone was choosing me. And when you have lived your whole life feeling invisible, being chosen can feel like salvation. I thought Dapo was charming, attentive, and thoughtful. He told me my size made me soft and womanly. I used to blush at that until I realized he used it to cage me. When I glammed up, it would say, "You don't need all that makeup. Big girls should look natural." When I wore fitted clothes, it would say, "Don't draw attention. People will talk." But when slim girls passed by, it would look a little too long and say, "See how confident she is. That's class." I started shrinking to please him, wearing baggy clothes, skipping meals, laughing less. He called me his big teddy when things are good, and fat and lazy when he's angry. Then the next minute it would say, "You know I don't mean it. You are the only woman I love." And I believed him because deep down I still thought I was lucky just to be loved at all. Over time, his love became control. He decided where I went, what I wore, how I spoke. He said he was protecting me from people who would hurt me, but he was the one doing the hurting. Once he told me, "You should thank God I'm not like other men because they won't even look at you." I remember standing in front of the mirror that night, hearing his voice replay, and I started believing it. The day he hit me, it wasn't even about cheating. It was because I wore a red dress. He said it was too tight, that people would look. When I tried to walk away, he grabbed my wrist and said, "No man will ever love you with that body." That was the moment something broke inside me. 2 weeks later, I left him. But leaving him didn't feel like freedom, it felt like failure. Because even after I was gone, his word lived in my head rent free. "No man will love you with that body." Then came Tunde, gentle, patient, soft spoken. I thought maybe this was God's way of giving me a second chance. I didn't feel sparks when I met him, just calm. Tunde came into my life like peace after a hurricane. It wasn't loud, it didn't chase attention. It was steady, the kind of man whose calm made people trust him. My friend said, "Ada, this one is husband material." My mother said, "Don't play with this man. Men like him are rare." And I agreed. Not because I felt butterflies, but because I felt safe. After that, safety felt like love. Tunde met me while my self-esteem was still bleeding. He treated me with kindness I didn't think I deserved, opened doors, brought lunch to my office, spoke softly even when I was wrong. And every time he said, "You're beautiful," I would smile politely, but inside I would flinch. Because When you have been told your beauty is conditional, even compliments start to sound like lies. He proposed to me 6 months after we met. He said, I know you've been through a lot, but I'll never be the reason why you cry again. He said, I know you've been through pain, but I'll never be the reason you cry again. Everyone clapped. And I nodded, smiling, while my chest tightened. I should have said, I'm not ready. But instead, I said yes. Because I was tired of being almost chosen, tired of watching other women move forward while I was still healing from a ghost. We had the most beautiful wedding ceremony. Tunde tried his best. It made me laugh. It made me feel loved. But the truth is, I didn't know how to receive love that didn't offer. We built a life that looked perfect from the outside. Sunday service, matching outfits, anniversary photos. But we're roommates more than lovers. He would reach for my hands in public and I would smile, not because I wanted to, but because people were watching. So many times he would ask me, Ada, are you happy? And I would answer, yes, of course. One day he said to me, I love you, Ada, but sometimes I feel like you're somewhere I can't reach. I started overcompensating, cooking more, cleaning more, laughing too hard at his jokes, giving him the version of me I thought a good wife should be. In our third year of marriage, everything started to unravel. We had just lost a pregnancy. It wasn't planned, but it hurt him deeply. For some reason, I felt relief because I didn't want to be tied to a man I didn't love. I remember sitting in that hospital bed, watching him cry, begging God for a miracle. And all I could think was, he deserves a woman who can feel his pain with him. There was a day he came to me and then he asked me what was wrong with me, and I said nothing. Then he said, why do I feel like I'm married to your body but not your heart? I couldn't answer. Tears came, not from pain, but from guilt, because I finally realized what I had done. I'd built a marriage on gratitude, not love. When I spoke to my friends, they would say, Ada, live love, it will grow. Love isn't all that you need in marriage. I believe love should be a stepping stone. My mother would say she was arranged for my father and love came later. Those two aren't in love because I know my mother cheated on my father at a certain time and she wouldn't have if she really loved him. But that aside, I didn't want to cheat on Otunde because he was, and I believe, still a very good man. So I did what I believe was the best for us. Because love is not a button that you press. It's a river. You either feel it flowing or you don't. I looked at him, this man who had given me nothing but kindness, and something inside me broke because I realized that he was trying to heal wounds he didn't cause. That night, after I slept, I sat in the living room with my packed bag beside me. I didn't write a note, I didn't say goodbye. I just sat down there for hours crying for the first time in years, not because I was leaving him, but because I couldn't love the man I was supposed to love. When I finally walked out, it wasn't a dramatic exit, it was quiet. I started therapy a month later. Therapy has helped me understand my past, but it hasn't changed my heart. I've learned to trace my pain to childhood, to my mother's mirror, to that was insult, to my own silence. People think healing means you start loving again. Sometimes healing just means you stop lying. It's been 2 years since I left Tunde. We don't talk often, but I heard he's remarried. Funny thing is, when I got the news, I didn't feel anger or jealousy. I felt peace, maybe even relief. Because if he's found the love I couldn't give him, then maybe all the pain we went through finally served a purpose. I just pray that he's truly happy the way he's always wanted to be. Sometimes letting go isn't punishment, sometimes it is grace. And if I'm being honest, I think this was the first time in my life that I truly acted out of love, not to hold on, but to set someone free. I'm still single, by the way. So, I'm not holding brief for that Kevin guy who faked his death. I think what he did was selfish. But maybe, just maybe, he didn't know how to tell his wife that he wasn't feeling the marriage any longer. I don't support his scheme, but I understand how someone can feel trapped in a life that looks perfect but feels hollow. In conclusion, I think people shouldn't marry just because the society expects it. Heal first, face your trauma, confront your past before you enter a marriage that will awaken the monsters you have buried. That was really a long story, and I'm not going to say too much. I just want to say thank you, Ada, for sharing your story with us. I totally agree with what you have said. I've always said to you that we shouldn't marry just because the society expects us to, or maybe because it's the next thing on our bucket list, because you have just finished school and the next thing is to get married. We shouldn't just get married because everybody is doing it. We should actually ask ourselves a lot of questions. Are we ready? Are we ready physically? Are we ready emotionally? Are we ready financially? Do you understand? Before we decide that we want to go into marriage, it is very important to ask this question. It is not about getting married, it is about staying in the marriage. I don't want to say too much because I think Ada has helped me with what I would have said. Guys, what do you think about this story? Drop your comments. You've been watching Life Stories with Bussy. My name is Ade Busola David. See you in the next story. Bye.